This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian. And
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hello, this is Kenny Kalix, and you're watching Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today. The trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, James J., and it's a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with Cutthroat, Kenny Kalix.
Oh, that was beautiful. I love that.
Yes, we like to do it big here on Wrestling With.
That was beautiful. I love that.
How are you, Kenny?
I'm good. Life's been alright, you know. Just moved into the new apartment, so if you hear any background noises, that's probably my neighbors. They're quiet, but sometimes they move around and you can hear them.
Fair enough. Can you tell us what you have coming up next event-wise?
Actually, I do wrestle tomorrow. I'm wrestling B.A. Malkin in an Ultimate Submissions match on a Friday 01 show called Friday Night Fight, I'm pretty sure. This is my first, Ultimate Submissions match. I think this is, my first, stipulation match in general.
Interesting.
And yeah, I'm a little, not, concerned, but, wondering how that's gonna go on. And by the time this airs, this will, happen, almost a month ago, but...
Right.
But, man, I'm wondering, how long it's gonna go, how the match is gonna go, how red his chest is gonna be, stuff like that. I just got, many ideas in my head for submission holds I want to put him in.
Right. You're not...
And, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're not on this a submission specialist wrestler.
My finish is one of my finish is, a Japanese cattle mutilation. I've gotten a couple wins with that one. But, overall, I'm not really a submission guy.
Right.
I'm kind of like a rock'em sock'em type of guy.
And,
but, I mean,
continue.
I guess I could make him quit from, beating him up senseless on the ground. I guess he could tap out.
Yeah, that's definitely an option. But you have had your issues, with each other in the past. This isn't a new issue.
Oh yeah, no. I trained with the guy, and then we both got green lighted, and then got a big head. And now we're just at each other's throats all the time. You know, he attacks me, I attack him. I interrupt his match, cost him the match. He costs me the match. I call him out in front of the crowd. I tell him all the people in the crowd his real name. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, screw that guy.
Well, you said that you're at each other's throats. It's a good thing you're Cutthroat, Kenny. So.
Oh yeah. That's the edge I have on him, I guess.
Oh yeah. And where can we find you on social media and your merchandise?
I do have a pro wrestling tee shop. Just look up Kenny Cutthroat Kalix on there. I have Twitter, Kenny. To find that, my username is Kenny C Kalix. I have Instagram, and I'm pretty sure the username on that is about the same as the X name. I keep forgetting that they changed it, and it's been almost 2 years, and I'm still not used to X.
Just the name X or X in general?
Yeah. Just the name X for Twitter, like.
Right. There's definitely a group of people that still don't accept that it's called X. They still just call it Twitter.
Man, I can't either. It's like, it's so jarring to me. It's still like, the logo's not right. I miss like the bird and all that. Like, I thought Twitter was unique.
Right. Well, luckily, I don't update my phone that often, and I still have the Twitter logo for the app, so the original
Well,
Twitter.
I wish I was you. I wish I was you.
Yeah, it still works pretty well. I still get messages.
Shoot. You got any questions or anything?
Yes. First and foremost, all of the links to all your social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. Alright,
Okay.
let's get into it. You work for 01 and TWE. Can you tell us about your relationship with the companies?
I love both. I broke into 01. 01 is kind of where I built my name a little bit, and TWE has been really fun to work with. I've appeared on there twice, and every time I've been there more than twice, because I do love the atmosphere and all the people in the locker room and all that. Shout out people like Eden Monroe. Eden Monroe's really good. Shout out the person behind it all, Dylan Hills. I love Dylan. Every time I see him, he gives me a smile on my face. Jameson Shook, he's really good. Yeah, I love those people down there. They make me feel welcomed, and it's kind of like, I got a family down there full of people that support me, and yeah, I just love those guys. 01 is where I broke in, where the first title I've ever won. Pretty sure the only title I've ever won is at 01. The 01 USA Tag Team Champions, formerly known as the NWA Midwest Tag Team Champions. Yeah, that was the first ever belt I ever won. I won that with my brother.
Anakin Murphy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Anakin, friend of the show.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out Anakin too.
We'll get to all things Anakin a little later.
Okay.
But let's start off with you wrestling Victor Analog, a big, well-respected name in the independent scene. Can you tell us about that experience?
Oh man, I remember that match. Oh man, I still sit back and watch that from time to time because that was a really big deal to me. I love Victor. Victor's a really nice guy, and he's always had a great mind to pick from. And that match with him meant a lot to me because I did grow up watching him. He used to wrestle around the area, and we would go and watch him. And I think I might have been there for his first ever match.
Wow.
I was in the crowd for his first ever match. And I've watched him grow from who he used to be back then to where he is now, and he's doing some good stuff, especially the stuff with Warhorse. That's amazing. They're on a great run right now together.
Now, obviously, seeing him wrestle in the ring prior to becoming a wrestler, is that kind of like a full circle moment?
Oh yeah, that's why it was so crazy to me that happened. It was hold on, I'm getting my phone on the charger real quick so the phone doesn't die.
Yeah, no worries.
But it was a very full circle moment for me. You know what I mean? Oh come on, my bad.
No worries.
But yeah, no. Vic is really good, and I like that match a lot, and I still go back and watch it because of how much value it did bring to me. Yeah, and I love that match. That was, in my opinion, one of my favorite matches I've ever had.
And you guys went with roughly 18 minutes in that match. For somebody that's, you know, still roughly in his first year of pro wrestling, that's pretty um significant to go that long with a vet, no?
Yeah, that is very crazy. I guess like I had one match where like I was very blanked out and didn't perform well, so I made sure that never happened again. So I guess like with how much I improved, it just became easier to get through. And yeah, that I could see why people would think that's impressive. To me, it's just like kind of the norm. Like I forced myself to do that and to get to that level because I just like it's like kind of like a respect for the business type deal. Like if I can't do that, then I need to do whatever I can to be able to do the things I can't do. If that makes sense to you.
Yeah, I gotcha. You mentioned that you had a match that you blanked on. Can you speak about that?
I won't say what match it was, but if you find it, it's very obvious. But it was just like I had things mixed up, and I wasn't really like. It was like a lot of personal things going on as well, so like it just kind of all came together and made like a terrible storm, and just kind of knocked me off my game, if that made sense. I was just very confused on what I was doing and all that.
Okay. Now, we almost never do this on the show, but considering, who was a part of it and the circumstances, I do find it very interesting. Your first ever match of competing was against Death Wish Anakin Murphy.
Yeah.
Not necessarily somebody that you met through wrestling, but somebody you grew up with, somebody you actually call your brother.
Best friend through life.
So, what did it kind of mean to you to have your first match, with somebody you knew so well prior to pro wrestling?
It meant the world to me because leading up to that, I had been told that I could go to places, set up, and try to get on the pre-show and go do the work and get my name out there. I was told I could do that, so I hit up a buddy of mine, CMC, and I asked him like, "Hey man, I know you're running this show. I don't know if you have like a battle royal or something, or like if I could come over and like help set up the ring and help run sound or anything at all. If you need anything, like just let me know. I'll do whatever you need." And he like texted me and he goes, "Don't worry, you're not going to be in the battle royal or anything. I have plans for you." And I got sent a message from Chan Smith. He was designing the match graphic and he asked for a promo picture. I gave him a promo picture and I was then sent the match graphic of me versus Anakin, and history right there. Yeah, and I remember day of, I was extremely nervous, and I went out there and I feel like I performed extremely well for my first match.
Oh yeah.
And the entire family was out there. It meant a lot. It meant a lot to the family. It meant a lot to Dad. And yeah.
Now, going from, him being your first match, you then formed a tag team, Constant Headache, which you got a lot of success with. Tag team 0-1 tag team champions. What was that moment like, winning the tag team champions, winning your first ever championship, and obviously sharing that moment with Anakin?
I don't think anything in wrestling will make me feel the way I felt that night. I don't think I will ever feel that feeling ever again. because you can never win the first belt ever again. You can never win your first belt like ever again. You can't win something for the first time ever again.
Right.
And to do it with my brother and with an extremely good tag team in their own right, the Premier, Campbell and Bishop, just was insane. And just seeing pictures of me and Anakin holding that belt, like holding those belts together, and then also seeing pictures of Seth Rollins and Merrick Brave holding those same exact belts at one point is just insane. Even like then, I was just like, man, I never thought like I'd even make it that far.
Is that a moment you take in the moment, or is that something that kind of sets in afterwards? Like, wow, I did this.
It's kind of both. Like in the moment, I'm like, we did it. Like we actually did it. We talked about it when we were kids. We did it, and now it's a thing. And like I remember for days, like I couldn't stop thinking about it. I brought the belt to school, and I was just so happy with myself and happy that we did that. And it just meant so much to me that we were able to do that together.
You're parading down the hall like it's the runway. Make room for the champion.
I was showing the teachers, showing my friends at lunch. And like even the friends that like look at you and just go, "Oh, but it's fake, it's fake." Like even they thought it was cool. Like, yeah, that moment is just crazy. I remember, like, sidetrack. I do remember after my first match, we did watch it in class once.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, Anakin being Anakin, he cannot have nice things.
No.
So, it wasn't, a complete surprise when, he did in fact turn on you. So from, a heartwarming, first match to an even better tag team run to now your brother turning on you and the ultimate match that led to that. What was that experience compared to the first match?
I feel like me and Anakin have had a total of, okay, let's see, I'm just counting the singles matches because we do have a tag match in there, but I'm not going to even count that one.
Right.
We've had the first one, and the second one, third, fourth, and me and Anakin have had a total of 5 matches together, and I still think that match at War Games was probably our best match. And it had so much, like, the crowd was so into it. They were hot. Everybody cared about what was going on, and there was so much power from that leading into the match. Like, the crowd was so, like, there that their power of caring so much, like, boosted how much that match mattered on the card, if that makes sense. Like,
right.
And I just remember, like, looking, and I'm like, wow, this is, like, probably the biggest crowd I've ever competed in front of. I looked out in that crowd, and I was just like, wow, that is a lot of people. What if I, like, go out there and they don't make a noise? And I was, like, worried about that. And I remember when I walked out there and that crowd, like, started firing up, like, something just lit inside of me. And I was just clocked in. And I just remember, like, I think that, like the entrance I had in that match, the crowd reaction, the match itself was awesome. And the moment, like, I won the match and the crowd, like, popped so big, like, that moment was also in itself really crazy. I never thought I could get that many people. And, like, don't even, like, don't take this the wrong way. Like, let me shout out my dance partner here, Anakin. Like, I did not think we could get the crowd to care about something so much. And that was insane too. Like, looking back on all this stuff, like, after it's happened, it's like making me appreciate like how insane my life has been because of wrestling.
Oh yeah. And you know, considering like you're only a little over a year into your wrestling career, and Anakin was your first match ever. Do you, when you do indeed get in the ring with Anakin, is that a good way to measure your progress of how well you've come along as a pro wrestler? To say, okay, well, the first match was the base, and now this is how I measure my progress.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see how it could be viewed as that way. Like, from my perspective, like, I think every match we have, it just keeps getting better and better and better and better. And we just had a match, like, literally last week that I, like, thought was also really good. And I love that match. I haven't yet watched it back, but, like, being in the ring, it felt really good. And the crowd was there for it as well. He's having his run as the 01 USA TNT champion, the Thursday Night Throwdown champion. And that's like a really good run with that belt. That crowd hates his guts. I think there are some people in that crowd that may want his head on a pole. Like,
It wouldn't surprise me.
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either. He's a really good talker.
He is. And one of the best ones at Twitter as well, if I do say so myself.
Oh yeah. I would not lie if like someone told me that they felt like, you know, that Anakin was one of the best wrestlers like on the independents today. I would agree. Like, and I guess that may be biased for me to say, but I genuinely think he is like one of the like best wrestlers on the independents right now.
Oh yeah.
And there's a few others that I feel that way about, and it's like I feel like it's hard to make me feel that way because I'm very like critical of myself and other things. So like it's really hard for me to be like, yep, that's like one of the best right now. The only person that like has stayed on like my top 10 like best people to ever grace a professional wrestling ring ever is like Bryan Danielson. He's been like the only person that stays on the list and doesn't leave the rotation. Like, okay. I genuinely do think Bryan Danielson is the best wrestler in the world.
Well, keeping up on you know, you and Anakin, there was a bit of a viral moment for you, putting up a clip on X/Twitter, with the title line of "Nobody outstrikes me." Nobody.
Oh man. When I uploaded that, I was in class. Well, I uploaded that the night before, and I was in class, and my phone kept buzzing in my pocket. So I was just like, what is that? Like, my phone never goes off this much in the morning. And, like, it kept buzzing, and, like, my school was, like, very strict. Like, you can't look at your phone, blah, 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 blah. If you get caught with it, it gets taken away. So I, like, finally get a chance to look at my phone, and I see, like, 50 notifications from Twitter. And I'm like, oh, my God, what did I do? And I look, and I, like, see, like, people, like, Gary J responding, Aaron Williams, Evangelistico, there's probably more, Merc, Hoodfoot, all of these people responding and quoting and saying stuff about it. And like, it was like for a moment I was the talk of the town. And yeah, no, I was in shock. I looked at that in school and I was like, whoa, what did I do? I exploded the internet.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of people really took exception to that for like no reason, honestly.
Yeah, I posted that and like everybody was like, come prove it, blah blah. Like, I'll knock you out. You're not ready to swim with the sharks. That was Chase Holiday's words. That son of a gun. No, that was Chase Holiday that said that. Me and Chase Holiday got into it, and he was just like, you're not ready to swim with the sharks yet. Oh man. Yeah, that was cool. That was really cool.
Now you mentioned his name, Gary J. It is quite surprising to me that you haven't stepped in the ring with him. I do believe you did a seminar with him, though.
Yes, I did. I'm very surprised I haven't been in the ring with Gary yet. There's been a couple times like where I thought like, oh, it's gonna happen now, and then something like got in the way. But yeah, that match will most definitely happen in the future. Like he ain't getting away from me on that one. Like it's gonna happen. He was one of my favorites before I was even a wrestler, and it's gonna happen.
Well, like I said, you was in a seminar with him. Was that a topic of conversation between the two of you?
When I'm around Gary, I never really like bring up the like whole I feel like we should wrestle thing. I always ask him. I try to pick his brain and his like knowledge and all of that, and see what his opinions on things are. I told him that like I feel like sometimes like my size puts me down, and he like looked at me and like told me like, no, like your size should not put you down. You are your own made man, and don't let anybody make you feel that way. So that's something that he's told me that like sticks to me.
Now, from one vet to another, you actually teamed with Shazza McKenzie against Rain Victoria and Nixie. Can you tell us about teaming with the big independent star? And
Yeah, Shazza's really cool. I've been in a car ride with Shazza before. The first time I ever met Shazza was in a car ride with Anakin. And, oh my, let me tell you, if somebody's going to get you out of your shell, it's going to be Shazza McKenzie. No, Shazza's really cool, and I had already, like, been acquainted with her before that, and I remember when the match graphic went out, I, like, DM'd her. I was like, dude, I'm so excited. Like, this can be a lot of fun with you. And also Nixie. Nixie's really underrated. I think a lot of people don't realize how underrated she is. I've had a match with Nixie before. She has come a long way, and she's really good. Like, I think she's really good. And she had a match with Ashlyn Alexander on Anarchy that was really good, and I think people should go check that out on their YouTube page. But I like her work, and I think that match was pretty decent. I liked it. Rain is also somebody who's like been there since the beginning, and
oh yeah,
I remember my first match. She like came up to me and was like, "Hey, I run these shows at my house in the shed. If like you want to like get like a rep in every week," and I've been doing that for almost like next year will be 2 years of doing that. And that was an outlet she gave me. And Rain Victoria is one of those people that like always want to put the younger people first. Like, she always wants to put people first, and that's something I really like about her.
Who knew the Queen of Evil had a heart of gold? But shout out to Rain as well, friend of the show. Alright. Can you tell us about that time you wrestled in flamingo pants?
Oh man, that was the 6-man tag match. Oh, it was me, Anakin, and Rob Leach. We called ourselves the Rough Customers versus Joey O'Reilly, Theo White, and Shan Smith, Hot and Heavy and Heavier.
Great name.
Yeah, that's a very great name. I remember that me and Anakin both had matching flamingo shorts, and that was that was a really fun match. And Rob had like this tropical shirt on that matched us, and I thought that match was pretty decent too. I love that. I took a stunner and did a backflip. That's like my biggest takeaway.
Will we be seeing a return of the flamingo pants?
Well, Anakin gave me the other flamingo shorts, so I may have to bust those out sometime.
Oh yeah. And whenever he decides to be your friend again and tag team together, you can give him those pants back and you can team in them.
Yes, like that's what I'm saying.
Hell yeah. Alright. Now, prior to being a professional wrestler, you were a backyarder, no?
Oh yeah, I was.
What kind of perspective did that give you going into pro wrestling? And was there any disadvantages and disadvantages of doing backyard that helped you or hindered you when you did actually start training?
With backyarding, I do feel like the worlds are completely different, and yeah, like to me, the worlds are completely different. Backyard wrestling, I feel like that's like goofing around, hanging out with your friends type deal, but you know, like when we were doing backyard wrestling, I like to like look up how to do things and all that. I was very like, I used to think about how to do things and like how like finding tutorial videos and the proper way to do things while I was a yarder. So like when I did start training, like way after, I had like way after I started doing backyarding and I was done with it, I had kind of like stopped watching wrestling for a long time. And then when I like finally fell back in love with the sport again and I started training, it did help a lot that like I was like I already kind of knew how to take a bump correctly and all that. And yeah, like it was just kind of the basic stuff, but you also did have to learn so much. Like when you're a backyarder, you thought you knew everything, but when you start the professional wrestling training, whole different world. Like you find out like, oh, you do need your cardio. Oh, you do need your strength. You have to be able to do like all these like holds and chaining and all that, and that's like a big deal. And you figure out like they're two completely separate entities, if that makes sense. Like they're two completely separating entities to me.
I gotcha.
I think backyard wrestling is like, oh, you're a kid and you're having fun, and then when you get to the professional wrestling world, you're marketing yourself, you're meeting people along the way, you're there for the journey, and you're meeting new people on the road all the time. And that's something I love about wrestling. You're always meeting new people, you're always on the road, you're always finding new and genuine people.
Well, that's a great segue into Kenny's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
Ooh. One time, me and Anakin and Nick King were on the way to TWE, and we stopped at this gas station, and I go to like leave, and Nick and Anakin are already in the car, and I hear screaming, and this guy's smacking the wall, and this guy is jacked, tatted up, and looks angry as shit. And I go to open the door, and the door's locked.
Oh
And I
no.
made eye contact with him, and I'm like pulling on the door, like, let me in, let me in, let me in. That was like a pretty scary moment. Another one that was really wacky, it was me, the Luminary, and Anakin. This lady like went to the pump next to us and just started talking to us, and she was just being all sorts of funny, and she was like, I don't know like what was up with her, but she just pulled up, she's like, hey baby, and I'm like, what is going on? Because I'm not used to being approached like that, because I live in a pretty small town. Everybody knows each other, and everybody's pretty quiet. So like when like things happen like that in a big city, it always throws me in a loop. So like to other people that's not really crazy and wacky, but like to me it's like not the norm.
No, I get that. Now, just going back to the guy at the gas station, like, why was he so mad? Did they do something, or was it just he in general, or?
I don't know. I don't know, but he was just like, he looked pretty mad, and I was just like, okay, I need to get out of here before he chooses me next.
And that would be the correct answer. Alright, can you tell us if there is any meaning behind your toot tattoo?
Oh, so me and Anakin got our name from a song, and we also got the name from the headaches we give people after we hit people really hard. But it was from a song from Joyce Manor called Constant Headache, and the tooth is a wisdom tooth. So a wisdom tooth gives you constant headaches. And that's where we got our name, and that was the logo of our team. And on our matching tag team shorts, there's a big tooth on the side of the shorts.
Yeah.
And it says a constant headache, a tooth out of line. And that's where the tattoo comes from. And Anakin even has a matching tattoo of a tooth at like the top of his, I would say left arm. But that's where the tooth comes from.
Do you have, is that your only tattoo?
Yeah, I do plan on getting more at some point.
What are you planning on getting?
I really like the band Late Night Drive Home. They have a really neat album cover I wanted to get on the upper right arm by where the tooth tattoo is.
Okay.
It's like two objects talking to each other, and it's like a thought bubble, and it says hey, and then like it shows two hearts connecting together. So it's like two lovers meeting each other for the first time and saying hey. And I think that tattoo is really cute. I think that's really cute.
Now, there's no easy way to say this. You hate Taylor Swift.
No, I don't. No, that was a rumor started from Rob. It's a complete lie. Don't listen to that. I like Taylor Swift. I like some of her songs. I even thought about making my theme song a Taylor Swift song at one point when I was first getting ready to break in. So that is a complete lie.
Well, why would Robert Leach spread such a out there random lie about you?
I don't know. He started that one day in training when I said her ticket prices are way too high, because they are.
Yes, that would be correct.
And he goes, oh, so it just kind of sounds like you hate Taylor Swift. And he just ran with that.
Okay, so he just kind of turned heel on you.
Yes, for no reason. I didn't even do nothing.
Well, hey, let's see him shell out the prices for a Taylor Swift concert.
Yeah, dude. Can you afford that ticket? I know I can't.
Hell yeah. No, definitely
I
not.
don't even make that much in a paycheck.
Yeah, my rent isn't that high.
Same.
Alright, well that's a great segue into the colossal question. Let's say they're making a movie about you. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first 3 songs on your movie soundtrack?
Ooh, I like this question a lot. I think Teenagers by My Chemical Romance. Reset Reflect by Of Machines. My first ever wrestling theme song. Boy Division by My Chemical Romance for the 3rd one. My 2nd ever wrestling theme song.
Okay, solid 3 picks. Now that we have the soundtrack down, everybody knows you get the soundtrack first, then you write the script, and then you go to casting. Who would play Kenny? And you can't say yourself because you are legally obligated to make a Stan Lee-esque cameo.
Well, if I gotta make the Stan Lee cameo, I gotta find someone to play me. Oh man, this is hard. I gotta think of someone who knows me good, or is just like a really handsome actor. Man, this is a hard one. Brad Pitt.
Okay.
He had long hair at one point. I got the long hair going right now.
Yeah, definitely. Now that we have you casted, every movie has a supporting cast. Who would be 3 people significant to you and your story that would be in your movie, and who would play them?
So 3 people?
Yes.
Well, for Anakin, this is a hard one. I gotta brainstorm and think of names. Can it be funny?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so Anakin Murphy being played by Dylan Hills.
Okay.
The Luminary being played by Chan Smith. And Rob Leach being played by Dave Cavazos.
Okay. And Taylor Swift playing herself.
And Taylor Swift playing herself. And can my cameo be me playing as Dylan Hells?
Sure, why not?
Okay, good. That's what I like to hear.
Perfect. But it's sounding like a great movie, a blockbuster to say the least, and you could pre-order the tickets now.
This is an amazing movie. Can't wait to see Chan do the dropkick in 4K.
On to a controversial subject. Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
No.
Oh.
No. I worked at a pizza shop, so I can say this. No.
Alright, so you have first-hand experience, insight.
Oh yeah, I got pizza experience. I can say this. Me and Jameson Shook got into an argument about this one time. No.
So we are very anti-pineapple on pizza.
Yes.
Alright.
Yeah, me and Jameson Shook were at a pizza place and we got into an argument about pineapple on pizza.
You would not be the first ones. Alright, what's your spirit Pokemon?
My spirit Pokemon? Charmander.
Oh yeah.
Fiery.
Now, we love the late great Tracy Smothers on the show. Do you know the acronym for Doug. Thug.
No, I did not.
T is for terrible. H is for hell. U is for ugly. And G is for Jill. 'Cause a Doug can't spell.
Ooh.
Yes, we love the late
I
great.
bet Rob would remember that.
Huh?
Rob would probably know that instead of me.
Well, for sure. We love the late great Tracy Smothers on the show. We're trying to keep the memory alive.
Love that. I actually did see Tracy Smothers once as a kid.
Ooh.
Area. I do remember seeing him one time.
One-on-one interaction or just wrestle?
Like, I think wrestle.
Okay,
I think I shook his hand too.
that's awesome. Now, weirdest question you'll be asked on a wrestling interview, hopefully. Would you ever consider wrestling a Rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual physical Rock.
I can get in there and wrestle at the body. My hand would probably hurt after hitting it, but yeah. I'd beat the hell out of a Rock.
Well, just for context, there is a wrestler named Psycho Mike that indeed wrestled a Rock for over 15 minutes in a Tungsten Man match. That's an Iron Man match that lasts for 2 weeks.
Well, I can tell you I'm not wrestling that guy anytime soon. He sounds like a case.
Well, fortunately for you, he only wrestles inanimate objects. So he just went up to wrestling dogs. So you have some time before he gets to humans.
Okay. I feel like as long as I keep moving and show that I'm not a non-moving object, I think I'll be okay. I think I'll be okay as long as I'm not an inanimate object.
Correct. On a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Hopefully, I have a fan base of people that I can, make their I'm trying to think of how to say it. Hopefully, I just have a fan base of people that I can consistently make happy. I like a lot of people say they want to get signed to the Fed and all that. Like, yeah, that would be really cool if I was signed to like the E or AEW or something like that. Yeah, that would be really cool. But it's more important to me that I have a fan base of people that I can consistently make happy, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. You want that genuine connection with the crowd.
Yeah.
And what is a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what you are all about as a pro wrestler?
I think if you want to see one of my best matches, you should watch me versus Anakin at War Games. If you want to watch a match that's gonna make you see hard hitting, watch me in the Luminary, any match. And if you want to see a match that's just genuinely impressive, watch me versus Jimmy Karryt.
Can we find these matches on YouTube?
You can find me versus the Luminary on my YouTube channel. You can find me versus Jimmy Karryt on my YouTube channel. And you can also find me versus Anakin Murphy on the 01 Board Games channel and his YouTube channel.
Perfect.
Or the 01 USA channel, not the 01 USA War Games channel. If that's what I said.
Right.
Crap.
But I will I will find those matches on YouTube and I will grab a link to them and I will put the link in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox for anybody that hasn't seen it, wants to see it, wants to re-see it after this interview.
Okay.
And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
Ooh.
This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
Yes.
Excluding
ready.
yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Bryan Danielson.
Worst wrestler.
Worst wrestler of all time? Wrestling is an opinionated sport. I don't know.
Would you like the default answer?
Yeah.
You have chosen Eva Marie.
Amazing.
You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
John Cena.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Christians. Yeah, Christians.
The AEW or the WWE?
AEW.
Okay. Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is...
Dead.
You would have also accepted taste great on toast. Squash. Vegetable or fruit?
Fruit.
Yes, it is indeed a fruit. It has seeds.
I knew it.
Yes.
Big brain.
New Japan wrestler Tai Chi, his ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
I mean, if you can get away with wearing a thong, I mean, go for it. But that's your discretion.
So to each their own.
I'll stick to my Muay Thai shorts.
Fair enough. And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
No.
And that is the correct answer. And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me.
Yeah, this was like one of the most interesting interviews I've ever had. I've had like 3, and they've always asked like the same questions. None of the questions I've ever been asked have been on this show.
Well, we like to keep it interesting for our guests. There's only so many times you could answer, how did you get into pro wrestling?
Swear to God, if I have to answer that one more time.
Well, you can answer this one more time. Where can we find you on social media and your merchandise?
You can find me on Pro Wrestling Tees at Kenny Cutthroat Kalix, if I can say it without stuttering. You can find me on X at Kenny C. Kalix, and you can find me on Instagram with the same handle.
And you don't have to type it into your Google machines. All of the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox, simply click the link. A new tab will appear on whatever device you are on. You have no excuse. Buy a damn shirt.
Ooh, yeah, I like this guy. My man.
Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us tomorrow as we interview Dave Bradshaw, and on Wednesday, Kylie Devon. And join us every Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews. Follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Thread, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Alright, when I say wrestling with, you say entertainment, okay?
Okay.
For our special guest, Kenny Kalix, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with
Entertainment!
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.